Good morning. My name is Sheikh Abdel Kader Baba. I'm a research associate and I work for TMG Research, a Berlin-based think tank working on sustainability issues. Welcome to my presentation on lessons learned from the implementation and monitoring of a farmer-led knowledge sharing approach, commonly referred as TSG model. I hope my today's presentation and the coming discussion will contribute to enhance the critical role of farmer engagement in the co-creation, inclusion, and scaling of innovations, be they social, technological, or digital. Here is the outline of my presentation. I will briefly introduce you to the TSG model, then I will share lessons learned, and I will also finally provide a reflection for the farmer-centric on-farm experimentation. Over the last decades, various extension approaches have been used to promote sustainable land management, introduce new innovations to farmers. We can broadly group them into three main categories: training and visits, farmer field schools, and farmer-to-farmer extension approach. To ensure community participation and farmer engagement, various concepts and terminologies have also been developed, such as model farmers, farmer trainers, lead farmers, and also inclusive, community-driven, close collaboration, etc. While all these concepts are nice and often contribute to project performance indicators, growing criticism and concern emerge at the practical level regarding their sustainability and impact. Common and recurrent criticism raised by researchers and practitioners include, for instance, model farmers' long-term motivation issues. Projects, to reach their goals and objectives, often rely on various forms of incentives, including, for instance, direct payment of specific services and different type of donation. When the project stops, the incentives disappear and the activities stop. Another criticism is the lack of accountability between trained farmer and the rest of community members, limiting project outscaling. This is often the result of unclear communication of project expectations, but also an underestimation of the workload associated with project activities. The third criticism is the high dropout rates observed, especially when the project phases out. This is a direct consequence of irrelevant motivation schemes, the lack of accountability, but also another expectation of farmers' dedication and engagement, especially when the project is not there. The last criticism is the power imbalance associated with the promotion of sustainable land management technologies. In most cases, to reach their goals and performance indicators, projects tend to favor and to promote well-off farmers, lacking to see important difference between farmer groups. Projects miss to understand that the village is heterogeneous and farmers have different background in terms of resources and potential. So the TSG model tries to build on all those limitations, but also build on other sources of knowledge and experience, such as the implementation of community-based services in the health sector in Benin, but also 4 years of data collection in targeted village. So to respond to the long-term motivation issue, the TSG model proposed to promote the concept of social debt, which is rooted in socio-cultural context and take farmers' own responsibility as an important cultural lever to promote sustainable land management. The TSG model also worked to adjust the workload associated with the project activities and also to reduce the time duration assigned for the TSGs, that is the Temses Yabungorado, the volunteer working on promoting sustainable land management. And finally, the project also worked to decentralize roles and responsibilities. While this response appeared to be a one-to-one relationship, in fact, they are all related and interconnected. While the responses provided in my previous slide seems simple and straightforward, the implementation approach is much more complex. But I will focus here on the main phases we follow to implement the approach. We start with farmer engagement, which consists in discussing deeply with farmers to understand their perspective and also to give them the opportunity to contribute to the design of solutions for knowledge diffusion. The second phase is capacity building, which focuses not only on sustainable land management, but also on facilitation skills. It was also important to monitor progress together with farmers and to set a feedback loop between the project, the research team, and the farmers. Finally, providing feedback and recognition of commitment and endeavors was important to continue the motivation of farmers. So what have been the key lessons learned from the process? Supporting farmers' leadership in the design, implementation, diffusion and evaluation of social and technological innovation facilitates its further uptake. This was especially true for reducing women imbalance as observed in the project. Giving more responsibility, more leadership to women contribute to reach more to female farmers. Farmers' time should not be taken for granted. Acknowledging the workload associated with new approach or innovation is key to sustain innovations. Practitioners should move beyond teaching-based extensionists to become community facilitators. Finally, valuing existing social-cultural levers and relying on farmers' social network ensure accountability and support innovation, outscaling, and upscaling. So where are parallels between the two approaches? Like the TSG model, the farmer-centric on-farm experimentation, value farmer engagement, and stress joint exploration with farmers. For example, it states, the farmer-centric on-farm experimentation is a process engaging farmers in research through experiments in their own fields. If the sentence stops here, I will say that is just what farmer field schools are doing. But the approach continued and said, a process that builds on existing knowledge to support farmers' own data-driven management and decision. That is, from my perspective, a key added value to previous approach. The icing on the cake is that experimentation is understood as a deliberate process of exploration with farmers to support their individual learning needs and decision making. That is what I call a radical shift in researchers' and extensionist culture and mindset. However, we need to continue reflection on how to engage farmers. How to select the initial farmers to engage with the research and with the experiment is a fundamental question. How will the farmer-centric principle translate on the ground? And how do we move from step 8 to step 1 to restart a new cycle? That is fundamental questions I want to raise. To conclude, I will say the farmer-centric on-farm experimentation should have been integrated in extension long time ago. It opens hope for a research where farmers are seen as businessmen and decision makers, where farmers are leading the search for knowledge that matters to them. We need to stop considering farmers as guinea pig or subject of experimentations, often aiming to prove the effectiveness of approach or model. As pointed out by C.A.K 2019, technology ramps fast, but it doesn't matter that technology evolving if people don't adopt it. Thanks for your attention.